Hello everyone, this is Lenity, Life and Reality, where we embrace imperfection, we normalize humanity, just come the way you are. This is a space where you feel free. We don't do fake it until we make it. We are real and we do real and raw real stories. So today my topic is, why do I behave the way I do? Have you have you ever asked yourself why you behave the way you do? So today I'll be sharing about my story from when I was a kid to until now. Maybe I'll capture somebody's attention to so that you may understand why you behave the way you do. Now picture this, how you were raised by the people you are raised with. Maybe your parent could be a single mom, a single dad, a guardian, or even both parents. Now these parents, they come from different backgrounds, and according to how they raised you is because maybe of how they were raised and the experiences they went through before they got you. It doesn't matter the time they got you or the age at which they got you. So that is where we begin. How I was raised. Okay, now I was raised by two parents, my mom and my dad. Now these two parents, their background was different but kind of similar, because both of them, they were firstborns. And they were left to cater for their siblings because their parents were never there. Like my mom came from a single mother home, and she was the firstborn, and when the mother was not at home, she was left to cater for the siblings, and she had to make sure that the home was clean, they are fed, everything was done. So that is how she knew how best she knew how to behave, to be responsible, to take care of the siblings as young as she was. Then came my dad. The same story goes. My dad had both parents, but the father was very present. So my dad, being the firstborn, also had to take himself through schooling, and he had to be very responsible for himself and his siblings, provision, education, everything that he was supposed to do as a firstborn, and being a male firstborn. So now these two, they meet and they have my sisters and myself. We are all daughters. So how do you expect these parents to raise their kids? These are people who are taught to be responsible at a very young age. So how would they raise their children? And remember, we are girls. So they teach you, or they taught us how to be responsible, because that is what they were taught. Life taught them how to be responsible at a very young age. So you meet, my dad was taught education was everything. Education was everything because he ended up being a principal of a school. Education was everything. So to him, his daughters have to be educated and they have to perform well. And then on the other hand, my mom, being a business lady, because now being from a single mom who want to hustle to put food on the table, my mom had to learn the same. She became an entrepreneur. And at the same time, she was taught that home needs to be okay. She had to take care of the brothers and take care of the home. So now she's teaching the daughters how to take care of a home. So these two people combine these characteristics or personalities or behaviors to raise their children. Okay? Because having kids at that time, to have daughters, it was not easy. Remember, the society did not favor women that much. So here we are. You have daughters. So now there's a lot of they did a lot of I can say overly protective, because the society did not allow it. Education, expression. The society could not allow such. So they were overly protective because they were afraid of what the society would do with daughters, if I would say that. And then how they were raised, especially my mom, being the only daughter in a society, and from a single mom, a society at that time did not advocate for single moms. So she had to go through a lot. So now she's teaching you how to be strong in this kind of society. So you understand the kind of discipline that was in that home, because I'll give an example. Like, we were not allowed to literally go out. um I cannot say retro, but they were very protective to a point where when you have to leave the house, they need to monitor where you're going to, which was very we had calculated homes where you had to visit your friends, and they had to monitor where you're going with those friends. So it's either you're home cleaning or reading, or you follow mom to a business where she had a business. You stay with her. So you see that. So because if you leave, my dad will be like, are you done reading all those books that you have? If I pick a book right now and I ask you who is the author of that book, would you tell me? You get what I mean? And then my mom would be like, if I check your room right now, is your room perfect? Is it clean? Is it organized? If I open your closet, is it organized? So you understand the kind of thing I'm talking about. So there was this kind of discipline. They were the best parent you could ever have, because they did everything to make sure we have. They were not millionaires, no, but they did the best they could to make sure that we have everything that they were able to provide at the time. So now from there, you're taken to now a boarding school, because to them, what they did not have, they want to give their children. That is what we do. What we don't have, we want to give our children to better their life than what we had, because every generation should better the next generation. The previous generation should better the previous generation should better the future generation. So now you're taken to the best school, and this time now you're taken to a Catholic school. And Catholic schools, they were known for discipline. Remember, now you're all disciplined here at home. Being a girl, you're taught mannerism, you're taught elegance, you're taught speaking skills, you're taught communication, and all that, how you're supposed to present yourself to the society. Now you come to a Catholic school now at a very young age, around grade 3 and 4. That's when you would be shipped to a boarding school. So in a boarding school now, you're learning how to, at a very very young age, you're learning how to take care of yourself without your mom or your dad. Now you have to survive. You have to wake up in the morning, take a shower, spread your bed at grade 3, spread your beds, take care of yourself, make sure you're not late for classes. Then nobody is showing you do all this. You're just following what others are doing. You have to learn, you have to survive, you have to follow the rules of the school. So from grade 3 to grade 8, you're in a boarding school, and then from there you go home. So now you're controlled on how you behave, how you talk, how you walk, how you interact. Everything is organized for you, if you can get what I mean. And from there now you go to another boarding school in high school, which was a national school. I'm talking about myself now, which was a national school. And national schools, they're very, very organized and very, when it comes in terms of discipline, top notch. So now in a national school, high school, from now a boarding school, when you're young, to a national school is another boarding school. Your parents are not still there. Now you're a different environment. Still you have to learn new skills, interact with new people, new environment, get to learn more. National schools was more about the appearance, the demure, the way you carry yourself, and still you want to perform, because it's either you perform or you leave. You perform or you leave. So all this you have to balance. As young as you are, you have to balance. Those, you understand high school, you have to balance. So I'm trying to get somewhere now. How did all this form me? Now, in the process of all that, I became like a perfectionist. I want things done in a certain way, because this is what was hammered from when I was young. A girl should be smart, a girl should be organized, a girl should be clean, the girl should carry herself like this, a girl should dress like this, a girl, you know, what how we teach kids or girls, female gender, how we tell them she should be this, she should be that, she should do that, she should, yeah. So all this is hammered. So one of the things that formed me to who I am today, or how I behave today, was I became this kind of a perfectionist. I want things to be done in a certain way. Okay, another thing I had to pick was how to communicate with people, interactions. Okay, since you were taught you need to be respectful to people, so it doesn't matter who that person is. Another thing, you have to be organized. I am very organized. I want to be organized. I want everything in my house, especially my space, to be organized. So I'm learning all that from children, from family institution to formal institution, that is primary school or junior to secondary school. Then nobody tells you now after now secondary school, you know, from primary, or rather from when you're young to secondary school, all these things are defined for you. Everything is defined for you. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you behave, who you interact with, where you go, what you're supposed to do, what time you go to bed, what time you're supposed to wake up. Everything is defined for you. Everything is defined for you. So now you've formed this routine because there are people who are there to take care of you and to make sure that you're okay. But now you're taken to campus, or rather you land yourself in campus, whether it is private or public, in campus, government or private campus. Now here, nobody defines what you do. Nobody defines what you do. Remember the kind of upbringing I was taught, yeah? You carry yourself like this, you walk like this, you talk like this, you behave like this. So now I'm in campus. Nobody's telling me this is how I'm supposed to behave in campus. What do you meet in campus? Oh Lord. This chaos, yeah? When I mean chaos, I don't mean like a fight or something. I mean the lifestyle in campus. You're in a hostel. What do you see? Now you are hammered that stay away from boys. So for you, you know you should stay away from boys. Now you're in campus, you're sharing a room with a roommate who brings in the boyfriend, and you are told stay away from boys, because at a very young age, even to talk to a boy, for me, because this was hammered to me, I would think, wow, I'll get pregnant, because this is what you're told. Boys are bad, men are bad. This is what you're told. Nobody is telling you now how you're supposed to behave. So it is you who is trying to figure things out. And through that, you make mistakes. Okay? You learn. You have to learn. You have to survive. Either whether it is living or surviving, you have to. Because now you're in campus and you have to read. You have to perform one way or another. Nobody is here to define that. My first time in campus, I was always calling mom and my dad. What do I do? How do I go? And it had to come to a place now where I had to learn to survive on my own. Let me say survive on my own before I got to learn how to live and to maneuver through campus. So now you're learning new skills. Okay? Here you're taught to no lying. So I became this person, like lying was death sentence for me. I wouldn't lie. It would kill me, the guilt. Now you're in campus. You've been faced by this problem. Like men, they come towards you. You're told men, so you have to lie to survive and escape it. So you're learning new skills. You're learning new behaviors. You're learning So many things at the same time, and you have to survive. You cannot run away from it. Because this is life. But nobody taught you now how to do it. So you make mistakes. Sometimes you have to make mistakes. Sometimes there are regrets. There are so many things going on, in campus. Then after campus, now you come to the real world, where now you have to look for jobs, and here you're exposed to so many people. There are those who are pretending to be your friends. There are those who are pretending to help you. There are those who want to give you a job, but with conditions, if you understand what I mean. No one told you that this is how it's supposed to be. Remember, your parents, they were doing the best they could, because this is how they learned how to parent. Because a child does not come with a manual instructions how they should be raised. Remember that. So you cannot blame your parents. They did the best that they could and how they knew how, because of the experiences, maybe what they went through, maybe how they were raised and what they saw, how their parents raised them or their guardians. So now here I am in the world, in a whole different world, from childhood now to adulthood. The transitions, the very difficult transitions. Sometimes it's easy, because you're trying to find yourself. Now, the who am I questions comes in. Who am I? Because there is the want. The want is the gratification, the desires. Very easy, but now the needs. Who am I? My goal, my purpose, here it is. You maneuver through all these things. And all things are trying to form you to, according to that is how you become who you are now. The way you behave, how you behave the way you do. Or rather, how I behave the way I do. Okay? So I'm trying to teach you that the way you behave, you are formed by so many things. From when you are a childhood life to now. So when you find yourself behaving in a certain way, stop asking yourself, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with me? Why do I behave the way I do? Go back from when you were raised. Go back. Sometimes answers are within us. Go back. Being organized, I came from a home where I had to be organized. Why do I behave the way I do? Resilience. I got this resilience from maybe campus and life itself. Being assertive. I had to learn to be assertive, to say no through life the way it has taught me to be. Why do I behave the way I do? Why do I want to be a perfectionist? Why do I want to be so much organized? Why do I look at things the way I look at them? What is that formed me to be who I am today? And in the process, once you learn that, because remember, there's the imperfection part of you and there's the perfection part of you, the strengths and the weakness. That's what I'm talking about. There's the imperfection part of you and there's the weaknesses. Because these two things form you. They form you. There's no you can separate them. You cannot separate them. But now you have to embrace the both part of you, the weaknesses and the strengths. And the moment you embrace them, you'll be able to learn who you are. Okay? And why do you behave the way you do. It will help you understand yourself better, especially the weaknesses. Learn to embrace your weakness. Learn to embrace your imperfections. Why do you behave the way you do? Why do you get hungry so fast? Why do you give up so fast? Why do you mess up sometimes maybe relationship or work? Why do you do that? Why do you like being a loner? Why are you so an introvert or an extrovert? What formed all that? You need to go back from when you were raised, from back then until now. Trace your way back. And sometimes you can't find what is causing all this. It is just within you, not outside. It is within you. It is within your reach. How you behave. What makes you behave the way you do. Maybe hope you're learning something, because I want to learn. Why do I behave the way I do? Why do I want to be in a certain way? Why do I walk this way? Why do I talk this way? Why do I, so many things about you. There are so many things about you. Why do you do that? Why do you behave the way you do? Go back, have a book, write it down. It will help you to trace back when things are not going well. Why do I behave that way? Why do I respond in such a manner? Why do I become so dramatic? Maybe it's a trigger. What is triggering you? What is the source of that trigger? Why do I fear to be loved? Maybe you went through trauma. That way you fear love. When people come close to you, you run away. Why do I love being loved? Validation. You always want people's validation. What is the reason? And sometimes when you're not validated, it hurts. Learn to learn all this. Why do you behave the way you do? Go back from childhood to when you are now. And you cannot blame anyone. Like I said, the parents do the best that they can, or guardians, or whoever you are with. Sometimes they could have been cruel. I'm sorry about that. But that's the best way they knew how. At that time, that's the best way they knew how. And you cannot blame them. You keep on blaming someone, then you never move from where you are. You will not move from where you are. As painful as it is painful if you didn't have the best of a background where there was violence, maybe. I'm sorry about that. But you have to find a way out. And there's always a way out. And that way, the only way is it is you. Go back, trace what is that makes you behave the way that you do.